Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome into episode 106 of the Second One podcast. Joining you today, you have myself, Shiz, and we also have Brother Mo Snell and Brother Tahim Green, aka Get Your Weight Up! Exclamation mark. Fellas, how are y'all feeling this evening?
Good,
Good.
good, 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 good.
Good. Get your fucking weight up.
Yes, get your weight up, not your hate up. The old cliche. So how this podcast works, we talk mostly about sports, hip hop, politics, and everything in between. We give it to you straight, no chaser. And if we offend you, we apologize slightly. How we kick things off, we have our taking a shot segment where we give a bold prediction about one of the topics I just named. Collectively, we do pretty well, but when you're taking a shot, you're bound to have a few mistakes here and there. So I'm gonna kick it off. Um, the NFC, they have a few good teams. The Seahawks, Packers, the Bucks, even the Saints are pretty good. But we need to start talking about these Chicago Bears.
Man.
Sitting at 5-1, tied for the division lead. Nick Foles, starting quarterback, MVP Mitch has been benched. Defense is playing well. Nick Foles is doing what he has to do to make sure that, they win the game. He's not going to light it up, but he also is not going to, they did lose to the Colts, but they bounced back and they beat the Bucks, and they're looking they look pretty good to me. Another good win last week. I think people just disregard them as like they're just some charity case. They're a real football team. Khalil Mack is a real football player. They have a really good defense. I think it's time. I mean, going back to the beginning of the season, I didn't pick the Bears to make the playoffs. But after 6-7 weeks, 5-1, we got to start showing them a little bit of respect. So my taking a shot is that the Bears are a team to be reckoned with, and they have a legit shot to not only make the playoffs, but they also have a legit shot to win that division. If I had to bet, I'll say they'll make the playoffs instead of winning the division, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did win the division. So yeah, my taking a shot is that put a little bit of respect on the name of the Chicago Bears. Tahim, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts, sir?
You gotta chill out, man. I'm not putting no respect on no Bears name. They're gonna fuck this up. Give them some time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Snell, your thoughts.
I agree with Tahim. I mean, as much as I respect the Chicago Bears, they're sitting at 5-1. I mean, their one win is against the Lions, which they shouldn't have had. Their second win is against the Giants. Their third win is against the Falcons.
The Falcons, yeah.
Which they shouldn't have had. They lost to the Colts. They beat the Bucks at home on a Thursday when Tom Brady throws 4 picks and forgets what down it is, and they win
because of that ferocious defense.
Okay, but they win by 1, and then last week they beat the Panthers.
Solid win on the road,
which is a solid win, but I don't respect you for a win. I'm just saying they could easily, as easy as it is for them to be 5-1, they could be 3-3. I'll give them the Bucks win, but they shouldn't have beat the Lions. Like the Lions the Lions were up like 27-3 or 27-10 in the fourth quarter, and they lose, or 23-10 and they lose the game. And then the Falcons, the same thing. The Falcons were up, and then they pull Mazda Mitch, and they put in Nick Foles, and they come back. So those 2 games they should have lost. So they should really be 3-3. That's not enough for me to respect you, unfortunately.
Right. I have a bet with our good friend Doug. We're gonna every week. I'm taking the Bears in the points, and how it works is whoever has the most wins at the end of the year owes that number of shots in Las Vegas for his bachelor party next year. So the bet started last week. I'm up 1-0. hopefully my streak continues.
Okay.
But moving on, Saheem, what is your taking a shot, sir?
All right, so my taking a shot this week is we hear the rumblings of Antonio Brown coming back. One team in particular who is going to go after him pretty hard is the Seahawks. I feel like the Seahawks are going to get him, and he's just going to fuck that team all up. Because you got Russell Wilson, who is super straight and narrow, by the book. I love God. And then you also have Tyler Lockett that is the same way. So you got Tyler Lockett, who's a good receiver, and then you also got DJ Metcalf, who's a good receiver. Where does Antonio Brown fit? He doesn't fit there. But I know Pete Carroll, he's going to go out and try his hardest to get him. He's just going to say, we need all those weapons. And he's going to mess the chemistry of the team up. So I think they go out and get him. He comes, and now that team is very easy to beat because Antonio Brown's not getting the looks that he wants, and it's just causing havoc in the locker room.
Yeah. So, your thoughts?
Well, one good thing I'll say about Pete Carroll is he's a good manager of men. No homo. So he knows how to navigate those personalities. Like you could say the same thing about Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett, and then you're like, well, how the heck do you have Marshawn Lynch on that team with these guys? So I think he's good at managing personalities, and I don't think it would be an issue. I don't think there's much to do in Seattle as much as there would be. You're in Oakland or Los Angeles, or you stick them in certain places. I don't think that's a good safe space for Antonio Brown to come back to. I think he needs to go to like you said, like a Seahawks, just a very solid organization. Even if you went back to the Pats, something like that. It needs to be like a stable organization that can kind of keep him under control. For him to come back to. So I don't think it'll be a problem. And another benefit he'll have is that he's going to a good team. So it's just, you kind of got to fit in and ease your way back into it. Cause I'm sure he'll be rusty as well.
Yeah. I just don't think they need him, to be honest. Like, why bring him in? The offense is not the problem. It's the defense. So, if the offense is already clicking, why add such a dynamic piece to the puzzle? Once we get to the playoffs, the better, the more you have, the better it is. But I just think that this piece is so different than any other piece that they could possibly add. I think it's just more of a disruption, in my opinion. Like if they were adding Earl Thomas back, then maybe that'd be something.
Yeah.
But Antonio Brown, I just don't see I don't see it. Like DK has stepped it up. Tyler Lockett is pretty good. Carson out the backfield, he's good. Russell's going to cook. I just don't think it's necessary. But I do agree with you where Pete Carroll's a good manager of like a whole bunch of different personalities, and he'll create an atmosphere where Antonio Brown can probably do his best. But again, it still could be a disruption if he's not getting the amount of targets that he wants. So
yeah,
it's definitely I'm pretty sure that the contract will be a situation where if he does start acting up, they could just drop him at no cost to them. But it is definitely some level of risk just because, like, you don't know what he's going to say or what he's going to do. Like you pick him up and you cut him, and he might say like, yeah, Russell Wilson called me such and such word, even though Russell Wilson wouldn't do that. So you just never know. But I will say that Antonio Brown, he's been quiet. He hasn't been saying anything. He hasn't been on Instagram getting arrested or having his kids in the back of cop cars. So who knows? But I'm kind of torn on the decision, but we'll see. He still has a couple weeks before he's eligible to play. So we'll see how it goes. All right, Snell, what is your taking a shot, sir?
All right, as usual, I always got a couple ways I can go with this taking a shot. But with this one, this is backed by no factual data. But I'm taking it to this NFC East.
Oh boy, here we go.
This NFC East, I'm telling y'all right now, the winner of this NFC East is about to be the New York Football Giants.
You're smoking crack.
Listen, what this is going to come down to is who's the healthiest and who has the best coaching. That's what it's going to come down to. I think the Cowboys might go off the rails after Mike McCarthy is saying this is the best week of practice they've had.
Horrible.
And players are saying we were fully unprepared. That's an issue. So the Cowboys, they may be out. The Eagles, their whole team's hurt. They got about, if it's a 53-man roster, they got about 30 players hurt. So the Eagles are just too banged up. Washington, Riverboat Ron showed his true colors last week, so they're out. So I'm going with the Giants. Give me the Giants to win this NFC East at a solid 6-10.
Well, I think the Eagles are going to win this division. Thursday night, I feel like the Eagles win by minimum 10 points. The Giants, their defense has improved. They seem to be getting better week by week, but they still have Danny Two Nichols, and he continues to turn the ball over. He makes just critical mistakes time after time after time. And, with the Eagles, their pass rush, they're going to be able to get enough pressure on them in this game on Thursday that we'll talk about in a minute. They're going to be able to get enough pressure on them to cause some mistakes. But just going forward, Danny, too many mistakes. And, Jason Garrett, the offense is not doing anything really. So I cannot see the Giants winning this division. I would pick the Eagles if I had to bet all of my money, I would bet it on the Eagles. The Cowboys, I have no words for them. Like you said, Mike McCarthy felt it was the best week of preparation against the Cardinals, and we get blown out. Zeke fumbles twice. Well, whatever. I will talk about that in a minute too. But yeah, no way the Giants win this division. Eagles win this division, and yeah, the Giants they're not prepared. They're just not ready to win this division at all. Maybe next year, but this year, no way. Tahim, your thoughts?
No, he might be right. The Giants might get it because everybody else just seems to have so many issues. I think their only real competition is going to be the Eagles, and that's only if they can get everybody back in enough time. I just saw on the ticker that Deshaun Jackson and somebody else is not coming back like they thought they were this week, so they're going to be without those two. I don't know when Alshon Jeffrey is ever coming back to play football.
No, I thought Deshaun was playing. Deshaun is playing, and Alshon is out. That's Miles Sanders is out too.
Yeah, Miles Sanders is out. I just saw that D-Jack is out too. They thought he was coming back, but I just saw he was out and somebody else that they
Ertz is out.
And Lane
Johnson.
Lane Johnson, yeah, he's out too. So
listen,
when it comes to the Giants, they'll beat them with anybody. But
yeah,
going forward,
the
Giants do it. There's just no way. No way.
Listen, this is what I'll say. It is as good as you think the Eagles are. They tied with the Bengals. So as good as whatever you want to sell me is how good you think they are. I know they lost by 10 to the Ravens, but they also tied with the Bengals. So I'm just not. I don't know. Because they're also, the Eagles have always been a team like that plays to the level of their competition. So they'll play down to the Bengals or they'll play down to the Giants and keep it close and lose or tie. That's just it.
All right. That was our Taking a Shot segment. Round of applause. All right, moving into these topics. We're going to start off by talking about our football teams. I'll kick off. What is taking place with the Dallas Cowboys. So when the line came out, Cowboys were favored by 3. That has been bet down. Cowboys are now underdogs by 1. And that's all due to the embarrassing, dismal, pathetic performance against the Cardinals at home on Monday night. Really no excuse for it. Zeke fumbled twice, back-to-back drives, almost maybe might have been back-to-back carries. Andy Dalton, what a pathetic performance. I've been talking about Andy Dalton for the past 2 years about how if we could plug him in and get some other guys with that money, we'll be in better shape. So that was just 2 years of just lying to myself. And Dak, I'm sorry for doubting you. You are the heartbeat of this team by far. And with the Cowboys, man, it starts with the turnovers, but it also starts with the defense, man. Like, we can't cover anything. We got Christian Kirk out there looking like young Larry Fitzgerald. Kenyon Drake, who hasn't been able to get it going all year, busts out a 65-yard touchdown when they're trying to burn clock. Mike Nolan, he's been the face of some of the worst defenses this millennium, and somehow he's still employed. I don't understand that. I really don't know what to say. Like, this team is it's just not playing well at all. It's a miracle that we even won 2 games. Andy Dalton had zero pocket presence against the Cardinals. Like, he's just standing there. Like, yo, move up, slide left, slide right, do something. He's just literally standing there and just getting sacked or throwing the ball away, just not moving the offense at all. And when it comes to this game against the Washington football team, I keep saying Skins, I'm just not sure what to expect. I do expect the Cowboys to have a spirited week of practice, hopefully. I do expect them to come out and play better than what they displayed on Monday night against the Cardinals. I'm just not sure if it's going to be enough. I just hope that, if we can limit the turnovers, which is a huge if, we have a shot to win. But who knows? Washington has a really good front four. They get a bunch of sacks from a lot of different people. The Cowboys' offensive line continues to get banged up. Tyron Smith's backup, he got hurt, so he's going to be out. So we're at a third string left tackle. Zach Martin, concussion protocol. We're not even sure if he's going to play. So the offensive line is just in bad shape. Zeke, 4 lost fumble this year. It's in his head now. He might have more nose rings than touchdowns this year. I got to look at the numbers. Everything is just all bad. And
I'm just gonna say, you can't trust a man that has "Feed Me" tattooed on his stomach.
Yeah, like you got the tattoos, you got the nose rings. Like, how can you need to come out the game so much because you can't breathe? Like, you got all these nose rings and blocking your air.
Listen, I told y'all, I think he has Down syndrome.
I mean, that's taking it a bit too far, but
not if you think it's real.
I really don't know what to expect with this team going forward. There's been some rumblings like, yeah, trade for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, nah, man. Why would we do that? Like, he would have to learn a whole new system, take 6 days to even get on the field because of COVID. Like, come on, man. That's just stupid. Yeah, so I honestly don't know what is going to happen. I do think we have a shot to beat the Washington football team, but I also would not be surprised if we got blown out. I have no expectation with this team going forward. 2 weeks ago, I was like, you know what? We have a chance to run away with this division. Now, I'm not sure if we can win another game. So I really don't know what else to say. What a disappointing season. It feels lost, even though we're still in first. Fool's gold, in my opinion. And we'll see what happens on Sunday. Taheem, your thoughts?
I'm going to stay true to what I said. I'm not going to talk bad about the Cowboys because I felt real bad for Dak. I just think, I'm not going to tell him jokes because it's real easy to talk bad about you guys and be truthful. But I just think it falls down to coaching, like you said earlier. Like Mike McCartney, he is not doing what he's supposed to do. He can't coach. It's evident. And now, the defense isn't good either. So you got your offensive coordinator, who's your head coach, and then your defensive coordinator, who are both trash. You just putting these guys in the worst predicaments ever. And they said they're not prepared. Like, that's a big thing. Like, you got some of the – because we say it like every year, Dallas Cowboys on paper is one of the best teams in the NFL.
Every year.
But if you have the best people, but you don't put them in the right positions to win, they're not going to win. Like, that's your whole issue right there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there you go. Will they beat Washington? I think so.
Yeah.
Because, Washington is just Washington.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, before you go, Snell, here's a stat for you. There's 2 teams in the NFL that haven't covered the spread in any game this year. The New York Jets and the Dallas Cowboys. Your thoughts. Your thoughts on this upcoming game, sir.
You never want to be in the same company with the Jets.
No, ever.
Anytime you talk about the Jets, it's not good. I think Dallas will be able to win this game, but I think it'll be ugly. I don't think it'll be like it just won't be an impressive win. Like I think they'll win this game like 13-6 or something like that. Like just a ugly sloppy win against the Redskins. It's the coaching. At the end of the day, is what it's going to come down to. Is Mike McCarthy is just he's not built for this situation. I don't think. Like I think he's a good coach if we want you to kind of build something up from nothing. I don't think he works well in like, hey, you have the team now, keep it together, like and motivate these guys. I just don't think I don't think he's the guy for that. So I don't know. I don't think this is gonna go well. I think this is gonna go very bad, very, very, very fast because I feel like 1 week after a Dak injury, I feel like the whole team is turned on each other. So
yeah, you got people talking to the media.
Yeah, you got people talking to the media.
No, I think it was always kind of like I think the Dak injury just expedited them coming out against that coach. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's what it is. I think they always had reservations against him, or because you just don't show up 1 week and not prepare your team. Like they weren't prepared for the whole season. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you just don't show up one week and just not prepare them.
And that's what I'm saying. Like if this was like an abnormal, like this, like you said, this just happened this week. We weren't prepared. Everybody just like, you know what? It wasn't our week. We didn't show up today. Like we got to do better. But when you start, the head coach is saying, this is the best week of preparation we ever had. And then you have players saying, man, we ain't prepared. That's not good. That means like players feel like they've been unprepared the whole time. Like, so yeah, it's going to be, I see this getting worse, not better from here.
Yeah, well, quick question on the Cowboys. Do you think this is a one and done season for McCarthy?
Whew.
That's tough. Well, it's not tough because you have seen coaches get the one and done. They've usually been black, but I don't see McCartney because of what he's done in the past getting a one and done.
Yeah, I don't think he gets that. I don't think he gets that treatment unless there's a young coach that's coming up or coming out. Like if it'd have to be something extraordinary. Like it'd have to be something like, hey, Dabo Sweeney's ready for the NFL, like something like that. Mike McCartney's out of there. Like something in that range where like the Cowboys can get their hand on a young offensive mind, like a Dabo, or you get your hands on like a Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma, like something like that. I don't think like he's out. Like he's fully out.
Yeah.
But that's the only way I can see him going out is if there's a young coach available that's just got a lot of buzz and Jerry manages to get his hands on him. So that would be the only way.
Definitely something to monitor. All right, moving on. 49ers at Patriots. Patriots 2-point favorites. 49ers coming off a bounce back win against the Rams. Patriots coming off a interesting loss to the Broncos. I guess you can blame, the Patriots struggles on not being able to practice due to COVID. The Broncos, they caused a lot of turnovers, but they couldn't score touchdowns. They got all field goals. So this is an interesting matchup. 49ers traveling east to play the Patriots. Early start, I believe, or I have to double check what time that game starts. But either way, it's still a long distance traveling. And Belichick off a loss and, playing against Jimmy G, it's a lot of like underlying stories involved in this game. If I had to bet it, actually, you know what? I'm not going to bet it. This is just a complete pass for me because, I think you have two really good coaches. One, Belichick, one of the best of all time. Shanahan, one of the best up-and-coming coaches. Interesting, very, very interesting matchup. As far as betting, I'm going to pass. But Taheem, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this game.
I think we win this game for the simple fact that the Patriots, when you look at, they've lost the last 2 games. They won the first 2. They didn't win them by much. And a lot of it was Cam running. Now, they don't have a lot of weapons that are going to stretch a defense. So if the 49ers coordinator, defensive coordinator, really locks down and stops Cam from running and kind of focuses on that, then we should be all right. And I think the kind of offense that Kyle Shanahan is going to run is just going to be too much for that defense because they do a lot of play action. They do a lot of trickery at the line. They get Deebo Samuel in a lot of positions where it's not down the field passes. There are a lot of short and immediate passes. And Gilmore, he's got burnt in the last 2 games. Well, not burnt, but he got receivers got over on him in the last 2 games. And he's one of those corners where you kind of have to let the route. He has to let the route develop. It can't be quick and it can't be fast because if it is, then you get your 3 or 4 yards. And Debo, we know he's a guy to catch the ball 3 or 4 yards and then take off for another 50 yards. And then they don't have any linebackers that can really cover Kittle. So I think the 49ers will be fine in this instance.
All right. So now your thoughts.
Yeah. Like you said, I definitely wouldn't bet this game. It's just too many variables at play. Like you said, like you're dealing with Bill Belichick off a loss. You got the 49ers flying west to east. It's just too many, like you said, the Jimmy G getting traded. It's just way too many storylines to bet the game. It's just so hard to go against Belichick off a loss, but I think the 49ers will win. I think, like you said, I think you can somewhat blame last week on the lack of practice together, but at the same time, now you're facing a much better defense, much better coaching, and a better there's a lot of other things going on. And the Patriots offense, to me, really all season hasn't been that sharp. They kind of just been like a ground and pound type team, just trying to make the game ugly to get wins. And I think that's just not going to work against the 49ers. I think the 49ers, their offense will be able to put up enough points to where Cam Newton needs to drop back and make passes. And I don't think they've just had enough time together, that offense to really have something sustainable that just clicks every drive. They kind of just play good defense, get good field position. Hopefully we get a couple passes and hopefully Cam runs it in. Like that's kind of the offense I see. So I don't think that'll be enough to beat the 49ers.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Bucks at Raiders, Sunday Night Football. Raiders 4-point home underdogs. Bucks coming off of probably the most impressive win of the season, a 38-10 beating of Aaron Rodgers and crew. Todd Bowles has that defense clicking on all cylinders. Tom, we didn't have a bunch of stats, but he didn't really need it. So, Snell, I'll give it to you. What were your thoughts on the Bucks last week, and what do you think they're going to do this week against the Raiders? Against the Raiders.
So last week, I thought we would win just because of the rest situation. Us having like a Thursday night game, and then getting that long rest coming into this game. So I kind of thought we would win. I didn't think we would win that big, and I definitely didn't think with the secondary we have would be able to slow Aaron Rodgers down like that. So it was good to get that win and to see that defense, really, really have a good day and really just shut down a really good quarterback, because that's definitely a rare sighting. But I don't know if I would give 4 points to the Raiders at home in a primetime game. That's just too many points. So I think we can win, but it's going to be real close. Like that defense kind of had a coming out party last week, which is good, but it's really hard to follow that up because now teams are expecting that. And to me, that defensive performance was an anomaly. Like that's not the norm, because I watch these games every week and that don't happen.
Yeah. So. All right, Tahim, your thoughts.
I think it's going to be a tough close game. because these Raiders are playing a lot better than we thought they were going to play. They're playing really gritty. They're making games ugly, and they're not quitting late in games. They're staying in, and the Bucks showed us something. Well, and I don't know if it's the Bucks or if it was just the Packers, because the Bucks came in and they like just manhandled the Packers. They just made them look like they were in an inferior team. But that might have been the Packers just packing it in really, really early in that game, saying, "Oh shit, we can't win." So, we're not going to put up that much of a fight. But in this game, I got Tom Brady on my fantasy team, so I'm going to have to say Tom Brady puts up a lot of points.
All right, fair enough. All right, moving on. Let's get into some of these locals. Thursday night football: Giants at Eagles. Eagles 4.5-point favorites. I know we talked about it earlier about the Eagles' injuries, but I just don't think it's not going to matter in this game. I can't see the Giants going on the road and beating the Eagles. First of all, the Giants hardly ever beat the Eagles as is, and going there on a Thursday night on the road, there's just no way. And I'm looking at an official injury report. So for the Eagles, Miles Sanders, Zach Ertz, Malik Jackson, and Alshon Jeffrey are out. In is Deshaun Jackson, Lane Johnson, Avonte Maddox, and Duke Riley. So
maybe I was reading that wrong. I don't care.
Yeah, so Deshaun Jackson and Lane Johnson are in. That's going to make a difference. I mean, Lane Johnson is one of the better offensive linemen in the league. Deshaun Jackson, we all know his explosive capability, especially against the Giants.
He's going to get hit once and bruise a rib.
So I put a bet in on this game earlier in the day. I think the Eagles covered this 4.5 easily, and they just dismantled the Giants. Giants might be riding a little high because they got their first win of the year, but back to reality sets in Thursday night against the Eagles, and Eagles win and cover easily. Snow, your thoughts?
So again, I have no factual data to back this up, but I'm going with the Giants. That's all I got for you. No numbers, no nothing. I'm just going with the Giants.
All right, Taim, your thoughts?
Same thing, man. I'm just going to go with the Giants. I think this is the time the Giants pull away in that division and they make their claim for the Super Bowl.
Horrible.
They make their claim for the wild card spot.
Man, they're thinking Super Bowl.
For a home playoff game. This is where they make their run.
Danielle's going to take them to, where's it, Tampa Bay? Yeah, it's in Tampa Bay this year, right? Yeah, Danielle's going to take them to Tampa Bay.
Right. All right, moving on. We have the Bills visiting the Jets. Jets.
Oh, my God.
Jets, 13-point home underdogs. Sam Darnold questionable to play. He did practice. Bills coming off a tough loss against the Chiefs. 13 is a lot. Bill, I mean, I really don't.
Not enough.
This is a game.
This
is a game that I'm definitely not going to bet. Because even though the Bills are a superior team, if Darnold plays, they can score a little bit.
13 on the defense.
13 on the road. That's a lot of points. I'm not betting the game, but Bills win. Bills will win the game, like without question. It's just about covering that 13. Coin flip. I'm not betting.
It's not even like it's a home game because it's just Buffalo to New Jersey.
Yeah,
true, but you're right about that. And I'm not sure if they're going to be having fans or not. But I don't know if Darnold
I don't think we got fans yet.
If Darnold plays, then the 13, I might lean to the Jets. But if it's Flacco,
I'm about to say, who's our backup? Flacco?
If it's Flacco, bet the Bills. That I'll give you that. Bet the Bills if it's Flacco. If it's Darnold, maybe stay away. Snow, your thoughts?
So I think because the Jets played the Bills to open the season up, I think they lost by 10. I think they lost by 10. That is the best the Jets will be versus the worst the Bills will be, and they lost by 10. So this game, there will not be enough point. Like the Bills can win this game by however many points they would like to. That's how. However many points they would like to. Because if you couldn't move the ball, they couldn't move the ball against the Dolphins last week, you won't be able to move the ball this week versus the Bills at all. After they've already played against you and have an understanding of what you're trying to do as an offense, that you won't be able to move the ball. You'll be locked down, especially if it's Flacco. So if they send Flacco back out there,
if it's Flacco,
if it's Flacco back out there, if it's Flacco out there again, I don't think they won't score. I think they'll get shut out again.
Yeah, like you said, like if it's Flacco, bet the Bills. Yeah. If it's Darnold, who can move around a little bit, maybe stay away. But at the end of the day, Bills win this game really, really easily, and it's never even a challenge. Like it's just a game. Like they should play this game like on a Friday night, like when everybody's out trying to do something. Like don't even put this game on Sunday. This is just the Jets are just an awful, abysmal team at this point in time.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Bears at Rams, Monday Night Football. Rams 6-point favorites. Interesting game, interesting matchup. This would be a great test for the Bears. It's either going to make me look really smart or maybe look a little foolish. But I think the Bears, that defense travels. They'll compete. Jared Goff can easily be rattled. If he's comfortable, he can play well. He's lights out. Not lights out, but he can beat you if he's comfortable. But if he has that look on his face and he seems a bit rattled, he can be had. So it just really depends on how much pressure the Bears are able to generate. If I had to pick this game, I think I might lean towards the Bears in the points just because I believe that much in their defense. But as far as winning the game, tough call. I think I would probably pick the Rams just because they're home Monday night, bright lights. McVay, really good coach. But yeah, I think the Bears keep this game close, keep it tight, keep it interesting. And, if they find a way to win, my taking a shot just looks even better. So hopefully they do. But when it comes to money, I probably wouldn't bet the spread. But, I think the Bears do, they it's not like the Bears are going to get blown out or anything. Taim, your thoughts?
Yeah, defense does travel, but like you said, it's too many other things that's going in to this game that help the Rams. They're coming off of a loss. They're at home. Monday night game. I think they win, but I do think it's going to be a very close game.
All right, so now your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it'll be a close game. I think the Rams do win. I think they have the secondary to somewhat contain the Bears offense to do pretty much nothing. So Nick Foles likes to throw, like, that's the worst thing you can try to do against the Rams is drop back and pass, and that's really how the Bears move the ball a lot. So I think it'll be a somewhat of a field position game, and at the end of it, I think the Rams will end up giving their offense the better field position, and that's how they kind of win the game. So I just see a close game, not many touchdowns, a lot of field goals type game.
All right, moving on. Some off the field news. It's Tua time. The Dolphins made a surprising switch at quarterback. Fitzpatrick playing some of the best ball of his career. Took care of the Jets, beat them badly. Tua was able to get in, throw a few passes, and all of a sudden Fitzpatrick is benched. And all along, Fitzpatrick knew that he was the bridge quarterback to Tua, but the way that it happened, he kind of was blindsided, and I kind of feel bad for him a little bit because, he's playing for not only like this season, but he doesn't seem like he wants to retire anytime soon. So maybe another team could have picked him up. So the fact that Flores decided to bench Fitzpatrick, they're 3-3, very much alive for a wild card, and even in the division possibly. I think this is a bit of a surprise. It was inevitable that it was going to happen, but at this time, this is probably the most surprising time to see something like this happen where Fitzpatrick gets benched. But we'll see. Burrow has looked good. Justin Herbert has looked good. Rookie quarterbacks seem to just come in and do well, or young quarterbacks other than Dwayne Haskins. And, Rosen, like those two, you know, they didn't look good, but for the most part they look competent at least, and Tua has a lot of hype around him, and we'll see. This is the future, and I think what the Dolphins are trying to do, they're trying to say like, hey, we need to see if this guy can play, or we need to see if we need to go back and draft another quarterback, maybe like Justin Fields or something like that, but. Interesting move. I feel bad for Fitz. It was inevitable, but I just think the timing is a bit off. Snow, your thoughts?
Yeah, I understand. I fully understand the timing. The only thing that I guess I may have done is that I'm kind of shocked that the Dolphins didn't put Tua in against the Jets and try to, because I feel like if we play the Jets, if we get down, we can just throw Fitz back in there and win the game. But I understand the timing from a point of this is their bye week.
Yeah.
So you want to take that bye, let him get a full week to prepare with the first team. Then next week, prepare for the game. I definitely understand that situation. So that's really what it falls down to. I don't really think it's about Fitz's play. I think Fitz understands that. It just so happens that this is the bye week. Like if the bye week was week 11, that's when they would have inserted Tua. Like that was the plan. I think that this was the plan the entire time. So I fully understand it as far as let's get Tua a full week with the first team. The next week, let's prepare for the actual game, and then let's see what we got. And if he plays like crap, we take him out, put Fitz back in, and we'll try this thing again in the offseason. So that's the way I think they approach it. So I think it's smart because, like I said, I think this is going to give him the most optimal time to prepare for a game. And if he can't win after 2 weeks of preparation, then we know we'll see you next offseason.
Yeah. All right, Time, your thoughts.
Man, I think it was kind of messed up how they did old Fitz magic. Yeah. And because of that, Tua's going to break his other hip.
No, but one thing I didn't mention that I will be worried about though is that if you have a team like I feel like the Dolphins are somewhat rolling right now, and if you put Tua in there and he stinks, I think you'll mess up the locker room and mess up the team. Like, because you'll have guys questioning like, yo, we were on a 2-game winning streak. We had 2 blowout wins. Like, why would you change the quarterback and now we lose? Like, that was, they'll kind of question your coaching decisions at that point, and then
they signed some vets on that defense too. Like, I mean, they knew what they were signing up for, but I'm not sure if they could have imagined like playing this well with Fitz early.
Yeah, and it's just weird to take out a guy like you said that won 2 straight games.
Well, with no struggle, I could see if he was like if Fitz was struggling against the Jets and you pulled him and you're like, all right, this is what we're doing going forward. But we coming off like they put up 40 points 2 weeks ago, then they just won a game 24-0, and if you come out and then you lose with Tua, it's gonna be like, yo, do y'all like you? The players gonna ask some coaches, do y'all like football? Yeah, I don't like football. That's a questionable choice that y'all just made. So we'll see, though. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Round of applause for football.
I definitely now that I see it, I definitely took that last cue as my hot take. I didn't even read the fucking the pre-production.
That's on the fly, baby. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to basketball. Some interesting coaching hires. We're going to start with the Pelicans. They decided to hire Stan Van Gundy as their next head coach. What are they doing? I mean, granted, Stan Van Gundy has a lot of experience in the league. He's coached a few teams. Very like a decent coach, but this is the guy you give the keys to get Zion to elevate to the face of the league. Not sure about that, buddy. Really, just a questionable hire at best, in my opinion. They'll play, they'll compete, but again, if you want Zion to ascend as the king of the league after LeBron retires, Stan might not be the man. So Very, very questionable hire. We'll see how it goes. Snell, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's very much so a questionable hire, especially like you said, like it's Stan Van, like his track record ain't great like that to bring him in and have him run your organization. Like, or Orlando was somewhat of a disaster. Detroit, his last two stops were pretty much disasters. I think you're better off hiring Jeff Van Gundy than Stan Van Gundy, to be honest. Like, if you're gonna hire somebody, so I don't really know how he got that one through. I would think they would kind of go with a younger coach that's kind of. I think that team is better off with like an experienced like college coach. As much as I hate him, even like I believe he already has a job, like a Billy Donovan. I think he's more equipped to handle this generation of players. Like, because you'll hear you'll hear Stan Van Gundy like commentate games, and you're just like, that it doesn't work like that anymore. Same thing with like Jeff Van Gundy sometimes. Like, like I just whatever his strategy is, and it's just like, that's stupid. Like, that's not how the NBA is anymore. So that's the only thing that I don't get, is just why him, especially when you have such a young team. Would you get such an older coach that I don't think can really connect with this group of players? So, but also at the same time, people may not want that job. So that's a whole nother thing to deal with.
Do you think so? I mean, you got Zion, you got Brandon Ingram, you got Drew Holiday.
I wouldn't want that job because of Zion. Not
only that, it's like, what sense of job security do you like? At some point, job security has to be a question, and it's like, if they fired Alvin Gentry, like, this team ain't that good.
Well, like, they fired him because they missed the playoffs. Pretty much,
but that's what I'm saying. Look at the team he had. It's not like he had an experienced group. You got Drew Holiday and a bunch of.
I mean, Ingram took a leap this year.
Yeah,
and they had Redick, so they had the pieces to. I mean, it is the West, but
it's the West.
The way I think what ultimately was their demise is the performance in the bubble. Like, They did not do well in the bubble. They were like a betting favorite to make the playoffs. That was what the NBA was rooting for, the Pelicans to get to that 8 seed. But they failed, and Gentry they let them go, and it's unfortunate because like Zion was in and out all year, and he didn't even start his career till like halfway through almost, and to fire him was definitely questionable. To bring in Stan as his replacement is even more questionable.
Yeah.
So
I think that front office is just not really. I think that front office has been in shambles for a little bit now. But I just don't think they have a stable front. I just don't think they have a stable front office, and I think that's what makes people question taking that job, because it's just like, I don't know what I'm signing up for if I take this job. Like, I don't like the day-to-day has to be crazy.
Yeah, and Tahim, before you go, Stan Van Gundy's overall coaching record is 523 wins, 384 losses. So very, very average. Tahim, any more extended thoughts on this hire?
Nah. I was like Mo was saying earlier, I would stay away from that job actually because of Zion, because I think Zion's going to be a bust. And I think if you get tied to that team as a coach and then Zion ends up being a bust, they're going to look at you like, oh, man, you messed that up. When it's no, this young kid didn't have mentally what it takes. Because I think that's what it's going to be, mentally what it takes. I just think Zion needed college because he needed more of a structure around him. And then he gets to the NBA and it's kind of more of a loose structure. He's going to be down there eating all that crawfish, eating all that starch. He's going to get big. He's going to get big. He's going to mess his joints up. Like, yeah, it's not going to be good for him.
All right, moving on. The Clippers, they hired from within. They pretty much promote Tyronn Lue, the head coach. I mean, Tyronn Lue is a good coach, but I mean, I'm not sure how much different this is going to be than the Doc Rivers era. I mean, Tyronn does have a championship, and I don't know. I mean, was there a power struggle? Was there a philosophy difference?
I honestly think Doc Rivers wanted to resign from the job.
You think he wanted to resign?
Yeah, I think it's just. I think it's just too. It was just too much of, you have a team that pretty much is set to win now, and you have to. I don't think Doc Rivers was trying to work that hard because, like you said, Tyronn Lue is essentially he's from the Doc Rivers coaching tree. It's the same philosophy, pretty much the same guy that you're hiring. So it's like, okay, like we just got the same, pretty much the same coach.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it's the same thing.
You got the same coach. You got a player's coach, an ex-NBA player. Like you pretty much got the same guy. So I really think Doc Rivers wanted to step down, just wanted to get out of that job. Because I think, like, I forget that, like, Doc Rivers has been a part of, he's been a part of that organization for, like, a long time.
Yeah, like 8 years.
Yeah, like, he's been, he's been there for, like the Blake and CP3 days. Like, that feels like a decade ago. Yeah, so he's been there
for the Lob City days.
Yeah, so he's been there through that, and then, like, been there through the Donald Sterling day. Like, I feel like him getting the organization to where it is now is like, I've done all I can for this organization. I need to get out of here. I need to change this team.
I need to get out of here.
You know what I mean? Like I've turned this thing around, like where they never won a championship, but at least now they're a respected organization. They're not a laughing stock like they were, decades before that. They're always a consistent team at this point. So I think he feels he's done as much as he could, and now you go to the Sixers. If you win, you win. You lose, you lose.
Nah, it's pressure in Philly, especially with Embiid and Simmons, in my opinion.
Yeah, but he didn't put his hand on it yet. Like, he didn't put his fingerprints on that team yet. So, like, if he comes there and they suck next year, or they fall apart next year, and they, people are getting hurt. Yeah, Ben Simmons still can't shoot. It's not his fault. It's like I inherited that. Like I didn't get this. But when you are in the playoffs and Kawhi can't score and Paul George ain't scoring, that's your fault. Like, you brought these guys in, these are your guys. So I felt like he just wanted out of that situation. Like, I won a championship already. Like, let me go to a little more of a controlled situation. Not we need to beat LeBron or a bust. Like,
that is a bit high. Taim, any thoughts on this?
No, I don't give a shit.
All right, moving on. I didn't have this written down, but I can't forget the Indiana Pacers. They hired a coach.
Yo, I don't even know who that dude is.
So I had to go to Wikipedia to make sure I pronounce his name right. The Indiana Pacers hired Nate Bjorkgren, assistant coach. Under the Nick Nurse coaching tree. Some of his accolades: he was a assistant for the Phoenix Suns from 2015 to 2017. Assisted for the Raptors from 2018 to 2020. Won a title.
Yeah.
Before that, he was he was the coach of the Bakersfield Jam.
Jam.
The Iowa Energy. The Cactus Shadows High School head coach. So Snell, break it down for us, my brother.
I never.
What
He is not.
How do you feel about your new head coach?
In the words of Mel Kiper, he was not on my big board. He was nowhere. He was nowhere on my coaching hire tree. But
I was like, who is that?
Yeah, nope. I have no clue. Listen.
He snuck in the back door.
He had to be a hell of a salesman to get that job. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what would make him go with him as a coach, but it's not Nate McMillan. We need long as he's not Nate McMillan. Nick McMillan is he's the worst pre-game, like in-game coaches, X's and O's coaches I've ever had in history. So anything might be up at this point. So we'll see. We'll see about this Nate. This guy might have it. He may make it one season because I've never heard of him.
Yeah, when I saw that come through, I was just like, who is this guy? And he was like, yeah, he's from the Nick Nurse coaching tree. So I was like, all right, champion,
exactly.
winner,
a strong resume. Like I'm coming up, like he had to get a stronger.
But they saying that the Nurse's coaching tree, like he's a legend already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's been in it so long that he has all of these people that that has worked with him and know his philosophy. Like when you think about it, Nick Nurse, he won in the D League.
Yeah,
and he was like, he was 2 seasons with the Raptors, and then the second season he won the championship, right?
Well, I think he won. He was with the Raptors, but he was underneath Dwayne Casey. Like he was like an assistant.
Oh, okay.
Then they fired Dwayne Casey and promoted Nick Nurse.
And then that first year that he was a coach, he
won. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what, so he wasn't. He hadn't even been a head coach for 5 years. He doesn't have a tree.
Yeah. Technically, he doesn't have it.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, this Russian mobster that they got coaching the Pacers. Yeah. Like, I don't.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't know. I don't know nothing about it.
So real quick, Nick Nurse, he was an assistant for the Raptors from 2013 to 2018. Became head coach in 2018, and won a title. So, but before that, he was with the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Iowa Energy, so they might have a history there. I have to do a little bit more research, but Nate Bjorkgren, the new head coach for the Indiana Pacers. Let's give him a round of applause.
I know. The only Depot trying to leave. When you saw that coach hire.
Yeah, he's really got to be trying to get out of there.
I'm out.
Only thing that's good for the Pacers is like at least they have a good track record of like, hey, we at least gonna get a decent coach. Because I said the same thing about Frank Vogel when we got him. I was like, this is stupid. He was
Vogel was good for you guys, so that worked.
Yeah, but it was the same thing. I think Vogel came from. Did he come from the Nets? I think the same. Yeah, same thing. Like his assistant
coaches from the Nets.
Yeah, it was just like,
Nets, what are you doing?
Yeah, like he was like coming from like the New Jersey Nets, not even.
What are you doing?
Like the Nets, like the Nets are about to move. Like y'all are getting this guy. Like y'all sure? So yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna give him a shot.
Yeah. All right. Well, round of applause for basketball. All right, moving on. We had some new music drop last week. First up is Benny the Butcher's album, Burning the Proof. I really enjoyed it. Listened to it about 5, 6, 7 times straight through. Hit Boy did a really, really good job. It was it wasn't the typical Benny the Butcher sound, but it was still good enough, in my opinion, to like make sure it wasn't too poppy. I thought the song with Rick Ross was really, really just good music. You got to play that song in your car with the sound all the way up. That was good music to me. The song with West Side and Conway, Griselda, they always going to produce. I thought Conway had probably the best verse on the album. There was a questionable song with Lil Wayne and Big Sean. Big Sean just wasn't a good fit for me, but the song overall was all right. Lil Wayne had a pretty good verse. But overall, I really enjoyed the album. I'll put it in my top, maybe like top 4 for the year of 2020. But really good performance by Benny. Hit Boy, continues to have a great year. Recommend, if you haven't listened to it yet, definitely recommend you guys listening to it and everybody out there that's listening. And yeah, hip hop is still moving forward. Did you guys have a chance to listen to it yet?
Of course I did.
What'd you think?
Well, a couple things. First thing, people got to stop hiring Black Thought to get on tracks with them. Because he's literally going to fucking burn that track down with them on it. So that track was Black Thought's track and not Benny the Butcher's. 1. 2, the best verse on that album actually came from Freddie Gibbs. 3,
I enjoyed that song. That was a good song.
3, I don't want to say I didn't like that song, but I don't like that he got one producer to do the whole thing. I think that kind of put him in a box sonically, and that box is not the box that they originated from. Like I understand when you have like mixtapes and then like not studio albums and then albums, there's a different level of production that goes into it. But I think if they would have stayed with the original recipes that they usually do, which is the Beat Butcher, Derringer, Alchemist, production like that, I think that album would have been a lot more Benny and not a mainstream album. Because that's how I look at that album. I look at it as a mainstream album. I don't even look at it as a Benny album because of the like Shiz said, it wasn't too poppy, but you can feel it. You can feel it in the songs like that. It wanted to come through, like that poppiness wanted to come out.
Yeah.
So to me, lyrically wise, amazing album, but just the production of getting one person to do it like all the way through, I think it just put Benny in a box. And I just think he's capable of so much more when you put him with different producers. Because I mean, when you're with different producers, you think of different things. Different sounds get you into different mindsets. And if you got one producer, producers usually use like the same type of skeleton and then build a beat off of a skeleton, and then there you go. So I just think it was good, but it could have been a lot better.
All right. So now, did you get a chance to listen to it? I know you like to wait a couple weeks.
I did not. Yeah, I did not. I did not get a chance to listen to it, but I've heard some singles here and there just from because I listen to music, so I've heard some tracks. The only thing that I question, I guess, is if you're gonna get Hit Boy, like he didn't get the if I'm gonna get Hit Boy, give me my Billboard #1 top 100 like single.
Yeah.
Like that was the only thing that I didn't really understand. Like if you're gonna, like you said, if you're gonna lock in with one producer, usually it's not like one of the major top producers. And if you are gonna do that, we're trying to go get this Grammy Billboard #1 type song. So we're gonna get that track with Rihanna because you know what I mean? Like just because of who you got. Like if you're gonna go get like, hey, I want Timberland to produce my whole album. Like, yo, that's Timberland. Like, let's go get the best of the best for everything. And that's how I feel about Hit Boy. Like, if you're gonna go get Hit Boy to do the whole album, like, well, let's call in that favor to Drake right now and try to get this done right now because that's what we got on deck.
Yeah, so. I think it was a struggle with him. I think the idea with the album is I don't want to go to that mainstream level. I want to stay like Taheem said, like a bubble, but he was trying to like balance like the real street music that he makes, but also trying to expand into like a more user-friendly sound, so to say, without going too popish. So he kind of like made an album where it's a good listen. It's it's good music. The lyrics are definitely there, but we had a Rick Ross feature, had a Little Wayne feature, but he didn't get the big feature that
this was like that was
possible.
This was like a soft intro into I feel like a soft intro into that other side, like that pop, like that. This is like a soft intro to that because also at the same time I understand like to a certain group it'll seem like we got Rihanna featuring Benny the Butcher, like that just sounds crazy. Like who? Like her fans would be like featuring who? Like,
who's that?
Who's that? Like
Butcher who?
That sounds dangerous.
Butcher. It's Halloween, but what is this? Like,
that sounds dangerous. Like what's going on? So I understand he needs to be somewhat introduced into that space before you can really like roll it out. But I just felt like if you got Hit Boy to do the whole album at that point, a couple extra dollars ain't gonna hurt to make these other calls because they got it.
Yeah. All right, moving on. There was an album that should have came out in 2012, but it leaked this past week. Electronica. The album was called Act Two: The Patents of Nobility. I'm a Elect fan. I'm a Elect fan. So whatever he puts out, I'm gonna listen to it. So I gave it a listen. I listened to it about three times straight through, and I think that if he would have released his album back when it was supposed to come out, his album with Hove that did come out this year would have been received a lot better.
You mean Hove's album featuring Jay Electronica?
Yeah, whatever way you want to put it, but I just think it would have been better received because, as a person that hasn't put out an official studio album, to come out with an album with Hove, you're cheating. Like, that's not fair to all other rappers. So I think if he would have released this one back in 2012, let it marinate for some years, maybe come out with another album in like 2016, his career trajectory would have been a lot better. But, not putting this out, then having the album with Hove, his career is just like, it's just incomplete. Like, he's old, like he's like in his 40s. So what do you do? It's just like a career that, kind of just was wasted. And it's unfortunate, but just going back to the music overall, I enjoyed the album. I enjoyed it in 2020, so I know I would have enjoyed it in 2012. So
he's a different man in 2012.
Yeah, but no, the music kind of like it I won't say it's timeless, just because it's not a classic, but it kind of relates to some of the stuff that's still going on with, like, Black people and like the struggle and all that type of stuff.
Man, we're gonna struggle for the next 500 years.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that neither of you guys had the opportunity to bless your ears with this music.
No.
Come on, man. I thought it was like I was on Tidal and I saw that it dropped. I was like, what the hell is this? Did somebody mess something up? I didn't even.
Yeah. So what happened? It was leaked. It leaked on like SoundCloud or something. And then once JLX saw people was like listening to his music, he was like, you know what? I'm gonna just put it on Tidal, try to make some money off of it. But it's still on SoundCloud. That's how I heard. I don't have Tidal anymore.
He probably leaked it.
Yeah, I just think that I think everything just switched up on Jay Electronica, and he just mistimed it and mistimed. Like, I think he had thought he had a pulse on like where music was going, and he thought like, I can wait and delay and like really build up this big buzz to drop these albums, and people will be craving them. And then the internet just came about, and it just completely switched to people consume music so fast that no one cares if you wait 4 years to drop an album. Like, the quality, like, if people just didn't, people consume music so fast that they just stopped caring about, like, oh man, like he waited 4 years to drop this. It's like, so what? Like,
who probably
album coming out tomorrow. So
who probably leaked that album? His girlfriend, that Rothschild.
Oh.
She probably leaked that shit. They're like, hey man,
like you ain't holding up your end. I'm leaking this album.
You better get this out there to the people.
Yeah,
he probably got her off of that album. It came out in 2012. Mm-hmm. Well, no, he made it in 2012. He probably made it and only let her listen to it. Now then they start dating.
You talk about a total mismanagement of a career. It's unfortunate, but as I said, I'm a fan, so I'm a listen to
like it. So he was dealing with Jay-Z back then too, right?
Yeah, he mentions Rock Nation a few times in that album, so I would assume so.
Yeah, just think about it, man. Jay-Z does not have the greatest track record of the people under him having the most flourishing careers.
Well, I mean, I think it's a combination of him not wanting to release the album, because Just Blaze said the same thing. Like Just Blaze says, like, I have an album with Jay Elect that could have been released like 10 years ago. Same thing.
Yeah.
So
I've listened to the interview where Just Blaze was like, like from 10 years ago, it just was like, I have the album on me. I don't know why he's not putting it out. Blaze had the album. Like, I listen to the album all the time. Like, I don't know why he's not putting it out.
So yeah, but like, why would you do that? Like, now he's 45, and I'm not gonna say your career is over, because you can make music at any time. But he hasn't built enough of a core fan base. You know, he has core fans, of course, but he hasn't built a large enough fan base to, you know, if like Nas came out with an album this year, and you know, people were excited about it.
Yeah.
Jay Elect
came
out with an album, and you know, maybe like 3,000 people were hype about it.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's just bad. So
yeah, I think he thinks he has that status, but he does like not like
I get that. Like he has that presence about him. Like yo, people know me. Like yo, like chill. Like people just know your girlfriend because she's rich.
But you know what? In the same thing might happen to Andre. To be honest with you, even though Andre has a bunch of like classic music from before with Outkast, it's been so long since he's put out like music. It might he's on that same trajectory in my opinion.
I think they're like the unicorn in that situation because like so when they first came out, you know, they were a Southern thing and everybody in the South, like, you know, they loved them. And then when their music started to flow up north, by the time we got it, we were listening to like the more wilder, I won't say wilder, but the more I guess mainstream version of Outkast and Andre 3000. But then as we got older, we were like, all right, let's go back and listen to like the beginning. We found out how lyrically inclined those two were. Like those two were like really good lyricists, like hands down. Like when you go back to their old stuff, like they're really good. And Andre, so if you like dated, you know, you go back at that time, like nobody was really spitting like Andre was at that time, saying the type of stuff he was, the way he was saying it. So for him, I think he's always going to have that core base or that following of people are like, yo, we need to listen to this Andre 3000. Like that's something I don't think Jay Elect will ever have.
But let's say he comes out with an album next year and it's a dud. Then what?
Oh, then it's a dud.
It kind of messes up his career a little bit, in my opinion, because he waited so long. Like the longer you wait, the more pressure you put on yourself when it comes to like album releases. And if it ain't up to par, then it's like this is like it's like damn, like
because I mean
we waited 15 years for a solo album and he puts this out.
Yeah, same thing happened with Jay Elect. I mean, he waited long. He put that album, the real album that he put out, and it was a Jay-Z album featuring Jay Electronica. Like, come on.
Yeah.
How disrespectful is that?
Yeah, I just don't think I think Andre 3000 though, I think he has, like you said, he has more of a core following, and two, I think he has a bigger catalog. So I just think Andre 3000 has a different respect level. Like when Andre 3000 stopped rapping, it was like, okay, Andre 3000 has put out multiple albums with Outkast. He put out a solo album, then he went on like somewhat of a mixtape run, putting out singles and doing that. But when he stopped, he was in his 40s. Like Jay Electronica had one album. Yeah. in one single. You know what I'm saying? Like one single. Like you can't, like it's a different just
mixtapes that had the same songs on them.
Yeah, like
this one does too. Like he got like this album this leaked album has songs on here that are old, but a lot of them are new. But like new in terms of
like they forgot.
Yeah, new in terms of like never being heard before. But he throws on what I think is like the shiny suit theory or whatever it's called with Jay-Z. Like that song always just finds its way on every Jay Electronica mixtape. So
like that's a shiny moment.
So you know what? I'm coming out with this new tape, but we got to throw that song with Jay on there just to like sweeten the deal. Like,
yeah. Now that and also another advantage I think Andre 3000 has is that I think a lot of people want to work with them. Like Like
all the top rappers now want to work with Andre.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't want to work with them. So it's like exclusivity.
Yeah. So yeah, I think people from artists to producers will want to work with them as opposed to Jay Electronica's like, yo.
Yeah, they're like, you want to work with Jay Electronica? Who?
Yeah, like I'm gonna just roll this album out from 2012.
Yeah.
So,
but all right. Is there anything else left in hip hop? We got Tory Lanez snitching on himself on live.
We'll talk about that in a second. But Black Thought also put out an album.
Yeah, I didn't hear this one.
Y'all, people got to stop. Like I'm sure I know you listen to it, but people got to go out there and really start listening to Black Thought. Like Black Thought is So my top three lyricists of like all time is Jay-Z, Royce 5'9", and Black Thought. Yo, because Black Thought is just like, I think he's on another level. Like he doesn't have to talk about he's not a drug rapper, but yo, he just spits and spits and spits and continuously like, and then like he'll just have the cadence at like he's talking about drugs, but he's teaching you something at the same time. You know what I mean? It's just like spectacular. And I think just me thinking, I think there's certain rappers that don't want to get on songs with him because they know he's an issue. Like I don't think Jay-Z will ever do a song with Black Thought because he knows he's the issue. Like he knows, like Jay-Z did a song with Eminem and it almost got ate up. He'll never do a song with Black Thought.
He didn't almost.
So
like I think he'll never do one with Black Thought.
So before I listen to it, is this album like every song Black Thought is spitting 200 bars, or is it like some structure to it, or is it just like just rap?
Nah, it's so you have some songs that are like the 4-minute regular structured songs, and then you have some that are shorter, and I think they're more like almost like poet snippets.
Yeah.
Because you have a beat behind him, but he's really, really precise in what he's saying, and it's short. Almost like if it were a poem or something like that. You know what I mean? I just think because of the way he raps in his the things he raps about, I don't think his album will ever fit in that main structure because he won't have like a girl song on there. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't expect.
You know what I'm saying? So the structure of his album will be totally different. And this is a full album of him. Before he's put out EPs where he was just spitting it. I thought those were great too, but I think this is more of a album, just not structured like a normal album.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely give it a listen. My thing with Black Thought, I think he's a great rapper, but I'm not sure. Like I'm a little nervous about a whole album of Black Thought just because it's just like damn, like that song was 400 bars, and here comes another 300 bars, here comes another 600 bars. It's just like, all right, man, like break this thing up a little bit, but on a feature, he's great because then he can just unleash for a little bit and then we're done. Yeah. But as far as an album, it's just like, damn. Yeah, I heard a lot of lyrics on that one.
You have to kind of equate it to when you listen to a Black Thought album. It's like you sit down and you take the Ethernet wire and stick it right into your ear, and you just download the internet. You're just fucking downloading the internet. He's giving you so much. It's just like but yeah, but he's just so good at it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's NBA YoungBoy giving you 300
bars.
Oh my
gosh!
You know what I'm saying?
That story.
You get so smart.
Did y'all watch that story of OJ video?
Yeah, the one you said.
Yo,
what the fuck is this?
He talks like a pit bull. Like he just like the way he speaks is just like, yo, I'm ready to fight now. Like he keeps just waking up in the morning like, yo, I'm ready to fight right now. That's like the type of demeanor he has. I'm just like first of all beats and songs to remix, this is the song. Like
I'm surprised Hov didn't have him assassinated as soon as he heard like, who's this? Doug, kill him. Have him killed.
Yeah, but no, going back to Black Thought, I'm gonna give it a listen. I'm not sure if I need to listen to it in a certain setting. Maybe I just need to come out with a pen and pad. Make sure I understand everything. So
you gotta listen to that album with Black Panther on the back of it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else left in music? Like I said, Tory Lanez is out there snitching on himself. Yeah. I mean, I don't give a damn about any of this, but
I don't care about it either. Like I haven't been following it. The only thing I saw was the Tory Lanez, and like Shiz was saying earlier, like he needs to stop because you just look wild,
look crazy.
Yeah, you look crazy defending yourself on IG Live. Like that's not what IG Live is for. Like people get on there and act like, all right, this is my case. I'm a lawyer. I'm defending myself, and you guys are the jury. Let me tell you my story. Like that's not what that is.
No,
you don't have to get on there and do that.
Yeah, and he's like, and he's stuttering. Like when you start stuttering, that means you try to think of something or you whine.
Yeah, he was like,
and he got to go. He still got to go to court. So it's like, yo,
Like
Just
you,
shut up.
you facing,
It's
you
like,
facing
I don't got domestic cases against me, against no women. It's just like when you say that, it makes me think you might. Because
and
like if you don't have them, you shouldn't have to say you don't have them.
that doesn't mean anything of like
Yeah, like you like you don't have one now. Like okay.
like yo, I don't have any cases. Like yo,
So you
okay.
that could just mean
one.
nobody.
That'll mean
nobody
you
took
still
you to
ain't facing
court.
22 years.
Exactly.
Sure.
Like that just means nobody ever took you to court and nobody's accused you of shooting them.
Yes.
That's it. That's pretty much it. Doesn't mean you did not do anything.
Yes.
So
yeah. So I mean,
but and it's wild though. Like even like in this whole atmosphere of what's going on, like we still find ways to make ourselves look stupid.
it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
He looks ridiculous. Like
and the thing about what people don't realize is, yes, that's Tory Lanez, right? Tory Lanez is acting like an idiot on IG. But when other people that don't look like us see that, they're going to equate all of us to that. They're going to say that and be like, yo, you see what black people be doing? IG defending themselves.
Yeah.
You gotta carry yourself with more prestige than that. You know what I'm saying? As a black individual, like, come on, man. Like, we're cut from a different cloth. We got to be smarter about what we do.
First off, he's going to court for shooting a woman.
Yes, I mean you don't do that to begin with.
That's also famous and expecting this to just go away.
And he's like 5'4", which I think should be illegal. You shouldn't be a grown man to be 5'4".
Yeah. I don't really care too much about the situation. Just let justice be served in any way. Like if he's shot her,
guilty, go to jail.
Go to jail. Period.
Yeah.
But nothing else to be said.
Yeah, he's just
him putting out music, him going on IG Live.
Stupid.
Just ridiculous. His legal representation they should just fire themselves because like
it's free money for them because they're gonna be like, we told you not to do that.
And the thing about it is like I wonder who his representation is. I wonder if it's a person of color, if it's a person not of color, because it's easier to say like it's easier just to let him go off and do whatever he wants to do as long as you get paid.
If you could be polka dot. If this is your client, the first thing you say is, "Don't."
You have the right to remain silent. Like
please stay off social media. Like that's got to be the first request.
But not only has he done that, he's on social media, and he put out an album. Like
he put out an album talking about it, right?
Something like that. Or
I haven't.
Still has feelings for her. I don't listen to his music, so I have no idea.
He must love her a lot if he shot her. You ain't running away from me, girl.
Yeah. Just imagine if he shot Kylie Jenner though. This case would have been wrapped up immediately.
Yeah, he wouldn't be.
Yeah, but all right, round of applause for hip hop music. Oh.
Yeah, what you proud over there, yeah? Got new styles that we ain't never heard before.
That one snuck up on me. I don't know what happened. All right. Yeah, that was episode 106 in the books. You can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we're also on YouTube. You can watch all videos on there. If you have any questions, concerns, or you want to be interviewed or you want to be a guest, please email us at info@secondone.com. We're on to week 7, NFL, NBA draft is coming up. We'll see how the Knicks mess this one up.
When's the draft? December? Or
I think it's November.
November 18th, I think it is.
I think it's like mid-November. So we'll see what the Knicks do. We'll see what the Warriors do. There's some talks out there that they might ship that pick off for Bradley Beal. That would be incredible. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see like what the NBA does in regards to like, are they going to be playing in arenas? Or are they going to do another bubble? Not sure. All of that has to get figured out. But football is still alive and well. I look at every NFL Sunday as a Christmas gift because COVID can shut this thing down at any given moment. But yeah, we're gonna keep trucking. Any last remarks from either of you? November 3rd is coming. Vote. Yes.
Yeah. November 3rd is coming. Vote. COVID is a real thing. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. As shit says, wash your ass.
Wash your hands and your ass. Absolutely.
Wash your hands and your ass. I'm still surprised we gotta tell people to wash their ass.
Hey, man, you just never know. Especially people working from home. They think they only need to wash like once every 3 days. Like you just
What?
Yeah.
I got washed every 2 days. I ain't going out the house. Nah, man, but you just smell like the house.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, but if there's nothing else, this is the Second One Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. We'll get up with you guys next time.